there's two different groups now that have developed in the world. There's the pro-humanity people, and then there's the anti-humanity people, right? Some people, everything they're for, everything they promote is death related, anti-procreation, anti-humanity. Everything's about depopulation. Everything's about preventing the human race from moving forward. Elon's the complete opposite of that. Everything he does is about more humans, about progressing the human race, about people being around. That's what I want. I'm for the human race. I'm for human beings. So how are you going to be against somebody that's for that, right? So you have to think about that. There's a death cult and then there's a life cult. Right now, the West is falling into a death cult. Everything is about less children, killing more children, not having babies, not progressing the human race. They don't care about humanity. They only care about
War.
themselves. War, killing more people, sending more bombs, sending more missiles, right? Everything's about death, 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 death. And people who are for God, people who are Christians understand that that's not the way to be. You should be pro-humanity. You should be pro-growing the civilization, pro more people. Why would you not want to have more human beings? People were worried about overpopulation or too many people, and that's why these Western civilizations are their civilizations are literally collapsing in real time because they don't have enough children to be able to sustain their population, which is fucking a crisis that people don't want to talk about. A crisis, right? And they're worried about defunding Elon Tesla because they're worried about who he voted for, as opposed to not realizing that your fucking species is literally going extinct right now, and he's trying to help you.
So that's a good point because a lot of people, and one of the main things you hear about why people don't want to have kids is, oh, it's expensive. I got to send them to college. It's like, well, you got 18 years to figure it out before they go to college. Like, kids are relatively cheap. They need a little bit of milk. They need some baby formula. You get them some little t-shirts from Target that cost $4,
Yeah,
and they're good. They're kids. They walk around, they chew on little toys. Like,
yeah. Put
kids are
them
cheap.
put them on the teat.
Yeah,
Don't even
put
buy the
them
formula.
free.
Yeah, they ain't charging for the teat. So
Yeah. It's a lame excuse for people who are selfish and they don't want to have kids. And unfortunately there's a lot of people like that are more inclined about where they're going to travel, what they're going to do with their spare time. And you see that with Hollywood pushes that big, like, oh, you don't want kids? Just like I saw the one Seth Rogen interview. He's like, oh, I don't want kids. I just want to lay in bed with my wife and smoke weed and watch television. It's like, what are you doing? Like, well, you're not making society any better by doing that.
great point. And I was gonna say, you're gonna leave behind no legacy. You're gonna leave behind no impact on society. You're not gonna have any children. Not thousands of generations of your bloodline stops with you because you want to smoke weed in bed all day. It's like, listen, player, you can do what you want for sure. Like, if you got enough money, I'm sure
Yeah.
he's got a couple of bucks. Go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to do that, but you don't want to have kids. Again, his decision. But in my mind,
Well,
if he
yeah.
had a kid, he'd probably be pretty happy he had a kid.
Everyone is.
Everybody
Everyone's
is.
always very subjective about it until they actually have it. And everyone always says your kids are your best gift. Like when you ask people in the street, like, what was the best day of your life? I'd say 75% of them say the day my son was born, the day my daughter was born, etc. Right? So why would you want to not ever live your best day of your life if you could? And I think it's very selfish for people that don't want to for that reason, like Seth Rogen, just want to sit around and smoke weed. But kids are relatively cheap and they grow up to be humans and they grew up to do great things and work at XYZ job and they could even support you financially if you weren't able to support yourself. Some kids are very smart and they grow up to be millionaires, billionaires, whatever. So
Hmm.
take the chance on that.
Yeah, and as a gentleman, right? The name of the podcast. As a gentleman, that's exactly what you should be trying to do: is enhance humanity as much as you can, and the best way to do that is to create another version of yourself, hopefully a better version of yourself that you can go ahead and put out into the world and be a productive member of society. You should be having as many children as you humanly possibly can, right? That's my whole goal in life, is to become as successful financially, as successful mentally, spiritually, physically that I possibly can be, to then have as many children as humanly possible. Because if I become such a fantastic version of myself and I believe I can do so much good and I can become so great at the things that I do, I should make as many carbon copies of myself as humanly possible. For sure. You think I'm not going to send out
Yeah.
10, 20 soldiers out into the world? If I can't, I will. 100% I will. I tell them, they think it's a joke, but I'll tell a girl, 10 kids minimum. They're like, ha, 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 okay, okay.
I
No, no, no.
know.
No, no, yeah, yeah, 10. Oh, you can only do 5? Okay, well, then I'm going to have 2 wives then. Oh, what? If you're going to do 5, I need a 5 from somebody else. If you're only going to give me 5, I need another 5. So, but I'm being serious because I want to have as many children as humanly possible. Because if I can develop fucking heroes, soldiers to send out into the real world, why wouldn't I do that? Because if they're going to be productive, good members of society, then I want to be able to provide as much life as humanly possible. And then think about all the good that they can do. And I give them the opportunity to live their lives. What better is it to then, what better thing can you do than give another human being the opportunity to live life?
That is the greatest gift, the gift of life, right? Even if we're here, I mean, everybody here was super lucky, right? Because your odds of being the sperm that got in the egg is like 1 in 1 billion, right? So your odds of even being here are insane. So to not want to live life, a lot of people are always down, oh, life sucks, this and that. Well, the gift of life itself is the greatest gift you'll ever get because the only people that ever lived on this earth are the only people that ever experienced that, right? There's only about 8 billion people right now that are experiencing this life that we live, right? And we're on this rock, right? We talk about Elon SpaceX, like we're on this floating rock in the middle of nothingness in the vast void of darkness. And we're living this insane life where we talk about finances and we talk about sparkling water and we talk about this stuff that doesn't inherently mean anything. But at the end of the day, it does to us because we're the ones that live it. So it's super, life is super interesting. And to be able to give life to more people is the greatest gift you could give.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And give them the opportunity to experience this life and then give them the opportunity to believe in God, understand religion, understand what their purpose is as a human being, help other people live the best life that they possibly can. Like that's what it's all about, is progressing humanity. Why would we not want to progress humanity? So anybody that's for humanity, I'm for them. So motherfucker's a hero.
Elon.
Yeah, hero.